Hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in. By the way, happy full moon. But let's take a look at the collective energy here. We have got the moon first, and we've got the Ace of Swords sideways. Okay, so sometimes I look at this as shared energy or incomplete or indecisive. Right now, we're going to have to pull some more cards before I can say anything one way or the other. We have like a newspaper here. We have a letter over here. There is the question mark of, is somebody going to speak up and speak their truth? And it almost feels like there's a lot hidden and someone is debating, possibly a Pisces or a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, is debating in their mind about stepping forward to speak the truth, like to lay everything out. In fact, it could be a Libra who's really considering, do I just go ahead and tell the full story? Do I just reach out and explain every little detail because this is really wrong? And maybe to try to make something right, it would require the sword of truth. It would require me to do I just say everything? So hang on, this is somebody who hid like a really big secret, and they're thinking about just revealing it, the world, in the hopes that maybe it would either take the karma off of their shoulders at least, or in the hopes of having a new beginning. This is a cycle that has not been over. There's no closure. There's no forward motion. There's just this draining and perpetual, I feel crappy because I know that this was all wrong. The fact that I didn't explain something that was a big secret. So should I just explain the big secret so that at least the world can turn again? This could have been Libra needs to tell something to a Capricorn. We have somebody who's got, a suitcase packed there behind her. We've got this puppy dog over here. This could also be that we have a feminine who's like about to embark on some new journey anyway. And maybe this person who has like this big secret that they've held back for such a long time, this might be just that they feel all of this heavy pressure because they've done an injustice to her. She may have either be ready to embark on a whole new journey herself and kind of put them in her rearview mirror. But for them, the one who carries the secret, they are still so bothered by all of this because it was so wrong that they kept the secret, that they definitely, let me ask, why do you feel like it's an injustice? Why are you reaping karma? 10 of Swords. Tell me more about the 10 of Swords. It's either the way they ended things with her was awful. Yeah, 8 of Cups. They may have put 10 swords in her back and then walked away from her, or she had to walk on, and they sat there with their secret, and all she felt was betrayal. This is something that you feel bad about this, or did you get bad karma for this? We've got the Page of Cups sideways and the Temperance sideways. Nothing in their life has been balanced. They don't know if an apology would even, how do you apologize for this? I lied, or I kept a secret from you. And then, that would have been a betrayal, but I also left you not knowing what on earth happened. I kept my secret and then abandoned you after putting 10 swords in your back. So this is somebody that ghosted, is what I would say. And when I said, are you getting bad karma, or do you just feel like it was wrong that you did this? And it's kind of both. Their life is disorderly. They got no peace. I feel like this person doesn't sleep well at night. I feel like their conscience is haunting them. And then to have this Page of Cups sideways, they're wondering if there's any way to make an apology. The bigger thing here is the secret. Tell me, because, you come and you say, hey, listen, I'm really sorry that I, put you 10 swords in your back, abandoned and ghosted you. That doesn't explain why'd you do that? If you're going to, there's no point in them probably even saying sorry unless they're going to reveal what the entire secret was. So why are you indecisive about explaining the big secret? We've got a 4 of Swords. We've got a 6 of Swords. And we've got the 2 of Pentacles sideways. Oh, and I'm sorry, there's one more behind here. The Ace of Wands sideways. Indecisive, possibly because, maybe this was in the rearview mirror. Maybe she's healed. She's moved on from this. She's, embarking on her other journeys in life. She's put them in her rear view. They don't even know if she'd want to hear their truth anymore, if she has any desire to hear anything, or maybe she's with somebody new, having the greatest new time of her life. Let me ask this. Why did you keep a secret in the first place? Let's change decks. Why did you keep a big secret in the first place and then, put 10 swords in her back instead of just talking to her and telling her whatever your secret was? We have the Magician upright. We have the King of Swords sideways, and we have the Star upright. So they kept some kind of a secret because they were, and we'll say that this was a King of Swords now. He was trying to manifest getting what he wanted. Maybe he looked at her like she was his star. Maybe he felt like really hopeful that he could kind of have his cake and eat it too. He thought he could manifest things going his way in his favor. He was conveniently forgetting that he was semi-karmic. Okay, so he's not a King of Swords upright. So he wasn't, look, obviously he wasn't being fair because he was trying to make something happen that he really wanted while being unable to do so for like legitimate reasons, but he decided to be indulgent anyway and try to get what he wanted. Now, it could have been because he really, really, really wanted to be with, we'll say her. She could be an Aquarius. He could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. He could also be a Virgo, Gemini. But there was something here where he didn't have the power to actually make this happen, but he wanted it so much that he decided to like pretend he could have this life or something with her. 5 of Wands, and it was nothing but conflict. There were so many things preventing him from being able to actually have what it was he wanted. And let me just ask, King of Swords, what was it that you wanted? We see that Star card, so let's expound upon that. What was it that you wanted? 4 of Pentacles. He wanted to hold on to something for himself. 5 of Swords, block things, and then with that Fool in the reverse, it's like he wanted to have what he wanted, but also not let go of other things. He wanted to put it simply, I'm reading between the lines here and saying, I think that he wanted to live a double life. That's what it boils down to. I wanted to not be asked any questions. I wanted to not have to make any changes or put myself at any disadvantage. But I also wanted to have the wish fulfillment that I wanted. What was the wish fulfillment that you wanted? Ace of Swords in the reverse, to not have to speak my truth. Again, what is the big secret? Can we just boil it down? You know what? Hang on. I feel like we should change decks. What is the big secret? What is the big secret? Justice. Again. Look, this can be a legal contract. This could be got in trouble with the law. This could be someone who is in a binding contract anyway. So this could be anything from a business, and he wanted to stay in business with somebody else and not have to admit that. He wanted to keep working with somebody else. He wanted to stay married to somebody else, but also get, have his cake and eat it too. He wanted something that was unfair for him to want. The big secret was he was trying to get everything that he wanted without sacrificing anything. 2 of Swords. He does not want to talk about this. Still, he does not want to talk about this. There is this big old black hole here. I'm thinking it's the black hole in his heart. Like, he knows that this was not okay. That's why he's burdened by how messed up this was. As soon as I think she maybe started to ask questions, he was like, well, I'm not going to tell the truth. So I'll instead, I tried to get you on my terms, to keep my secrets, to get what I wanted from you. But if you're going to keep asking questions, forget it. I mean, that's the way I feel about this, because then he blocked her, right? And cut her off, cut her out of his life, because he wasn't going to get what he wanted, which was, you don't ask me any questions. That's what this feels like. This feels like somebody who, again, wanted their cake and eat it too. Go back to that Justice card. Can we expound upon that? 8 of Swords, but sideways. He wanted to escape while still staying stuck. So she was going to be his escape hatch, his double life, his side peace, maybe. Something about, I don't want to lose anything that I've got right now. I don't want to change anything in my life, but I want this too. I'm not willing to make any alterations, but I do want this too. Judgment card. All of this feels like then it was finally, okay, I need to make a decision. So in the end, the decision that you made was what? I mean, we know that you ghosted, right? 9 of Wands. There's the little bumblebee flying away. So he came and he pollinated and then he flew away because his wounds were more important. Him doing what he needed to do to make himself comfortable was more important. And so I'm thinking that he then flew off and abandoned her. So why is it, let's just dig in one last time here. Why is it that now you're thinking that you really need to tell the truth to her? By the way, this is at the bottom of the deck. This is that 3 of Swords. We can see the shattered heart. We can see the raven. I just came across, oh God, I can't think of what the title of it is, but somebody online has like my life with crows, ravens, and something else. But it's this guy who is like, he's got these pet crows and ravens, and oh my gosh, they're so amazing. He's so good with them. He's someone over in the UK, but in any case, what I learned is that that thicker beak, I think he said, is the hallmark of the raven. So we can say that's a raven now. Sorry, a side note, but I thought he was really cool. It was awesome. I didn't know that channel existed. But anyway, shout out to somebody awesome. We've got the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and we got the Devil upright. All of this toxicity, all of this injustice, all of this, he's had the Justice card out twice. And we can see that it is weighing very heavily. I feel like he has had way more karma than he ever expected from this. Nothing in his life is moving forward. He can't get over this. He is stuck in this place where I think many things in his life are stagnated. There's no forward motion. He hasn't gotten over this. He hasn't forgotten this. What he did is, by playing this game and abandoning somebody after putting swords in their back, because first off, he was lying, I think, through his teeth, trying to get what he wanted. He wanted her, and possibly she was a lover at a distance or something. And he was like, oh, perfect. I'll get myself set up this nice little cozy nest somewhere out of town. But then I'm also going to stay where I'm at. But as long as she doesn't ask me too many questions, I can make this work. And if she asks questions, what's going on? Well, I'm not telling you anything. And I'm definitely not making any change. My wish come true is that you don't get to ask me anything and I get everything that I want and I make zero change in my life, but you're my little escape pod and I get to enjoy that. And when he realized he wasn't going to get that, then he went ahead and he blocked her, disappeared on her, and was just like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to deal with this. However, that's exactly why he's had to keep dealing with it, because this was really messed up, really wrong. Okay. So at this point, your karma is exceptionally heavy. He is, especially right now. Why right now is it heavier than ever? Ace of Pentacles sideways, because he really wants a new beginning. He wants to be free of this burden, which means maybe if I just tell her the truth about why I walked away, then maybe I'll get closure or something. What is it that you want from her? Oh, 10 of Cups, but then also the King of Cups sideways. He maybe still was hoping that he could get her as a side piece and have his secret 10 of Cups with her, but not really have to open up much more than that. If I tell her this is why I wasn't available, then maybe I can still have her again. So he wants a new beginning of the same old, same old. At least that's the way I would interpret it, because once again, we have him in a karmic energy of selfishness. Selfish king again and again. Doesn't matter if he's a masculine or a feminine. It's just he's come out as a king twice and both times sideways. So it's the only reason I'm reading it that way. Let's ask universe, what is the advice overall here? What is the advice overall? Okay, so I don't know if this card is going to come out, but you can see it's attempting, right? And that is the Wheel of Fortune card. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in only because if it's meant to come out, it will. It probably, well, I don't know, it may have or may not have, but it was showing itself. And that's a really chewed up card because my dog ate it when he was a baby. And so I always say that to me is a Wheel of Fortune card that says, this should have been handled a long time ago. There was nothing blocking handling it, but you didn't. The universe's advice here says 10 of Swords and 3 of Sacred Circles. Talking about this ending might be really important even now. No matter what, because you owe an explanation. 8 of Sacred Circles. 8 of Sacred Circles is, you know, I think that she's had a lot of time to chew on things and grow beyond this, though. So this might just be a time where there can be like peace now, and that it's always better to like make peace no matter what. Doesn't say anything about now it's a good time for them to come back into any kind of a union. Let's go ahead and just say, for the final message here, then, what is he going to do? Well, we have a King of Cups upright and we have the 8 of Wands upright. This actually says that he will go ahead and reach out, but interestingly enough, he may finally be, he was a King of Cups sideways before, right? Hoping, wishing that he could have a new beginning with her. So I don't know, hopefully his situation has changed, right? But he's debating, could I talk to her? Could I tell her the truth now? Because this has been, I mean, I think he feels pretty scuzzy about the whole thing, and his life has never gone right since he pulled this stunt. But at this point, him wanting a new beginning, him knowing that this is his 10 of Cups person, but being kind of emotionally, maybe this was him being scared, not necessarily manipulative or stingy, because this says his outcome is he's going to speak from the heart. He is going to reach out. He is going to communicate. But I don't know at this point. I mean, the universe says she's had a lot of time to work on things. But him talking about this ending may be a good reason anyway. We've got the 6 of Swords in the reverse and the 7 of Swords upright. This is still on his side. If he's going to reach out and say, I have had not a moment of peace because of the way I lied to you and ran away from you. I told you lies in the beginning. I wasn't honest. I mean, this is him like fully revealing the whole thing, which is what this has all been about. Should I just go ahead and say it all? I feel like there is this moment where he's realizing he has to, come what may, you know, and let the chips fall wherever they're going to be. Yeah, the Chariot and the Ace of Pentacles. If he's ever going to have a chance at like at least changing his fortune, changing, because this stagnated being in the Justice over and over and over again. This has been like unbearable at this point. He's got to get this off his chest. He's got to come clean, come hell or high water. Even if she never wants to deal with him again, he has to get this off his chest for himself. I played this game. I was selfish. I lied to you. In truth, you were my 10 of Cups, but I didn't want to change anything in my life, and I still wanted you on the side. When you asked me questions, I dumped you. I left you because, you know, I decided that that was easier for me than having to come clean or having to change anything in my life at that time. But you were the person that was the happiness that I wanted, but I wasn't grown up enough or healed enough or whatever to make the changes that I had to. It was too much trouble. It was too much, you know, all those 5s that we saw the 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords. I didn't want to have to fight other people, to leave something else in my life to be able to move toward happiness, which was you. So instead I tried to lie to you to get you in my life as a side piece so I could deal with what I was already dealing with, hide it from you, and still have you as my secret happiness escape hatch on the side. That's what I did. I feel like that's the only way for him to ever come clean and finally clear out this karma. I kind of think she already knows all this just through context clues after all this time, but him trying to clear the air is, I think, what he's actually going to wind up doing. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.